Hi, I'm Tom Roofer and welcome to the Pursuit of Healthiness. In this episode, we're going to head over to the grocery store with a couple of our doctors to pick up some healthy eating tips because, as Natalie Knutson always says, you get healthy in the gym, but you lose weight in the kitchen, which I've found to be especially true. So let's go take a look and see what we can pick up from the docs. All right, well, welcome. We're here with Dr. Joellen Coleman of Lake Region Healthcare, who is our cardiologist, and she's one of the doctors that participates in the Shop with a Doc program. And I just brought her out here today to tell us a little bit about the program and kind of why she does it. So why do you do it?
Well, as we all know, shopping in a grocery store can be very intimidating. So many options to choose from. Labeling can be confusing, whether something's healthy, not healthy. And so we thought it would be a good idea to bring some folks out from the community, work with us. We can look at labels together and kind of teach each other some great ideas on what to do with grocery shopping.
So if there was somebody who wasn't able to make it to one of the scheduled events, if you could send somebody with one main takeaway, what would your big takeaway be?
Well, two things actually. One, try to stay in the periphery of the store. That's where you're going to find all your produce, like your fresh fruit, fresh veggies, lean meats, and try and stay away from the aisles that's where a lot of the processed and packaged foods are. And then also get in the habit of reading the labels of all of the foods that you eat that come in a box or a can or a bag, looking at the serving size, looking at the calories, the fat, and the sodium.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Let's go wander around this place, see what we can find.
Okay,
huh?
all right. Here's one section of the grocery store where a lot of people shop, the deli, where you have meats. Let's face it, a lot of people are meat and potatoes kind of people in Minnesota. And oftentimes folks have a sandwich for lunch. So one thing that's very common is people may grab some deli meat. Here I grabbed some bologna, which is a very common thing that kids eat or adults eat. And if you look at the label, you'll notice that with one slice of bologna, that's 21% of your recommended daily intake of salt, which means there's a lot of salt in this bologna. Here's another option, Polish sausage. If you look at the content of one link of this Polish sausage, it's 28% of your daily allowed intake of sodium. A lot of patients, if they have high blood pressure or heart failure, need to be on a very limited salt diet, and this is not a good option for those. So what I would recommend instead is maybe considering just buying some chicken breasts and cook them up yourself and cut them up and put them into a sandwich instead. You'll have a lot less sodium if you do this option instead of one of the other two that we had just gone over.
So we've also been joined today by Dr. Josh Overgaard of Lake Region Healthcare. And Josh, what's your take on this program? What are you in it for? Why do you do this?
I'm in it for the money.
No, I meant the Shop with a Doc, not the whole doctor thing.
Oh, this particular thing. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
That's okay.
I think for me, I see people in the clinic as a primary care doctor, and I try to talk about food, food and exercise, just about every time I have a patient come in. And I think it's really hard for people to know without having had, an education in it, like what really is healthy or unhealthy. There's tons of information out there, and they get a lot of different messages about what they're supposed to be eating and what they're not supposed to be eating. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of time and effort, and I think you can make a great effort and still kind of have, fall into some pretty common traps. So for me, I love this idea, and that, I can come in here and just walk around with people. I think it's fun. And I think it's probably the most effective way to get the message across that we're trying to about what sort of foods are going to be worth spending our money and our valuable stomach space on.
Sure. And and a lot of people say that you're pretty intimidating, but I can vouch that no, not intimidating whatsoever. So, all right. Well, let's go wander around this place, shall we?
Awesome.
Okay.
The next thing we wanted to talk about, another place that gets really tricky to stay in line with your diet is when we read the labels is the serving size. And I've fallen for this one before 1,000 times. But a lot of us want to, we want to watch how much sodium we eat because we don't want to wind up with a whole bunch of swelling in our legs or something like that. So I pulled out an example of 2 different kinds of crackers, and they're both delicious, and they both have salt in them. If I look at the labels on these, I can see that they both have some salt. This one has 160 milligrams of salt per serving, and this one has 140. So this one sounds better, right? Like that's less salt. But there's a trick that they play all the time on you when they do this. The serving size on this one is 23 pieces. You can eat 23 of these delicious chips to get that 160 milligrams of salt. But these, also delicious chips or crackers or whatever they are, you get 5, and it gets virtually the same amount of sodium. So when we're reading labels, it's not just to pay attention to the amount that's in each serving, but how much do you get to eat? Because I don't know anybody that eats 5 crackers.
And a big thank you to Doctors Overgaard and Coleman for laying a little bit of wisdom on us. Keep an eye on the Lake Region Healthcare website for the upcoming Living Well series, and also please keep your eyes on my show. Be sure to like, subscribe, etc. All the fun buttons that you can see down here. In the meantime, make sure you send me your show ideas at info@lrhc.org. But for the pursuit of healthiness, I'm Tom Rufer. There's so much to do here. Stay healthy for it.